In the world of billionaires, one name stands apart not for coding or manufacturing, but for luxury. Bernard Arnault, a soft-spoken French businessman often dubbed the world's luxury king, has quietly ascended to the very top of the global wealth rankings. As of 2025, Arnault helms a fortune around $150 billion, making him one of the richest individuals on the planet. Unlike tech moguls or industrialists, Arnault earned his riches by building a luxury empire, the LVMH conglomerate. Under his stewardship, LVMH, Louis Vuitton Moët Hennessy, has become the largest luxury goods company on earth, encompassing scores of prestigious brands from high fashion and jewelry to fine wines and hotels. Bernard Arnault's story is a study in opulence and strategy. It's the tale of how a trained engineer, with an eye for beauty and an obsession with excellence, transformed a collection of venerable luxury houses into a modern empire. Today, that empire spans everything from Louis Vuitton handbags on the arms of celebrities, to Dior haute couture gowns gracing Paris runways, to chilled Dom Perignon champagne served on private yachts in the Mediterranean. Each of these symbols of the high life is part of Arnault's domain. By curating and acquiring the world's top luxury brands, he not only sells products, he sells a dream of the good life. Picture the scenes. A gleaming super yacht slicing through azure waters, stocked with vintage champagne and monogrammed luggage. Front row seats at a Paris fashion show where supermodels showcase Dior's latest designs. A billionaire's art museum in Paris shaped like a sail, filled with Picassos and Warhols. These images are not fantasy. They are everyday facets of Bernard Arnault's world. As the chairman and CEO of LVMH, Arnault's influence extends from glamorous red carpet events to the balance sheets of over 70 luxury maisons, houses that define style and taste globally. In this documentary-style exploration, we'll chart Bernard Arnault's ascent from a little-known investor to the titan of a $380 billion luxury empire. We'll see how he strategically acquired legendary brands like Louis Vuitton, Christian Dior, Moët Chandon, and Tiffany Co, weaving them into a single conglomerate that dominates high-end fashion, wine, jewelry, and more. We'll also step into Arnault's rarefied lifestyle, a world of private islands, mega yachts, fine art, exclusive events, and sumptuous real estate. To understand how the man behind LVMH lives and breathes the luxury that his brands epitomize. Throughout, a professional narrative tone will guide us, unveiling how this Pope of fashion turned a collection of heritage brands into unparalleled riches. So how did Bernard Arnault become the richest person alive by selling luxury? Our journey begins in the 1980s, when Arnault first saw opportunity in a struggling French fashion house and set out on the path to build the LVMH empire. Building the empire, from Dior to LVMH. Bernard Arnault's foray into luxury was not preordained. Born in 1949 in the industrial town of Roubaix, France, Arnault started as a civil engineer in his father's construction firm. But in his mid-30s, he made a bold pivot that would define his life's work. In 1984, Arnault learned that a once mighty French textile conglomerate, Boussac-Semfrère, had fallen on hard times and was up for sale. Boussac's assets included a crown jewel of French fashion, the house of Christian Dior, beloved by haute couture clientele and rich with heritage. Sensing an opportunity, Arnault bought Boussac, famously for the token sum of 1 French franc plus assumption of its debts, and set about restructuring ruthlessly. He laid off thousands of workers and sold off most of Boussac's businesses, keeping only Dior and the high-end department store Le Bon Marché. This earned him the early nickname The Terminator, a testament to his cold decisiveness in pruning away anything that wasn't luxury. The strategy worked. By 1987, Dior was returned to profitability, and Arnault had established himself as a shrewd new player in the luxury arena. While rejuvenating Dior, Arnault had his sights set even higher. The mid-1980s saw the creation of a new conglomerate, LVMH, formed by the merger of champagne producer Moët and Chandon and cognac maker Hennessy, with luxury trunk maker Louis Vuitton in 1987. Initially, Arnault was an invited partner in this venture. He helped broker the Louis Vuitton-Moët Hennessy merger alongside its founders, Alain Chevalier and Henri Racamier. But Arnault soon saw that LVMH's structure left it vulnerable. Despite the intent to ward off hostile takeovers by being too large for a single raider, LVMH's ownership was fragmented. Sensing internal discord between Moët Hennessy's and Louis Vuitton's leadership, Arnault made his move. In 1988, leveraging funding from the liquor company Guinness, Arnault began quietly buying LVMH stock. He initially spent about $1.5 billion to acquire a 24% stake. When rumors spread that others were buying up LVMH shares, Arnault doubled down, investing another $600 million to raise his stake to 37%. By January 1989, Arnault had stormed his way to 43.5% ownership of LVMH and 35% of its voting rights, an effectively controlling position. With that, he ousted Henri Racamier, Louis Vuitton's president and co-founder of LVMH, and solidified his own power. On January 13, 1989, Bernard Arnault was unanimously elected chairman of the executive management board of LVMH. In just a few years, the ambitious outsider had taken control of the entire Louis Vuitton-Moët Hennessy group, a dramatic corporate coup that would set the stage for a global luxury empire. Once at the helm, Arnault wasted no time in outlining an ambitious vision. He believed LVMH could become the Microsoft of luxury, consolidating the finest brands under one roof while respecting each brand's identity. Throughout the 1990s, Arnault embarked on a buying spree that would transform LVMH from a Franco-centric wine and fashion maker into a multi-sector luxury conglomerate. His strategy was clear: target established luxury houses with rich heritage and growth potential, often family-owned or financially struggling, and bring them into the fold. Arnault's philosophy was to only pursue brands that met LVMH's extremely high standards, those that were or could become number one in their niche. If an attractive target appeared vulnerable or available, Arnault struck quickly, earning a reputation as a relentless dealmaker. During this expansion phase, Arnault's LVMH acquired a who's who of luxury names. In 1988, even before fully securing LVMH, he had purchased the Parisian fashion house Céline, known for its refined, ready-to-wear, and leather goods. By 1993, he added Berluti, the bespoke shoemaker, and Kenzo, a vibrant French-Japanese fashion label. In 1994 came Guerlain, the storied French perfume house founded in 1828. Arnault picked up Spain's leather luxury brand Loewe in 1996. The following year, 1997, saw two significant additions. New York designer Marc Jacobs and his eponymous brand joined LVMH, as did the entire Sephora cosmetics retail chain. With Sephora's innovative beauty megastores, LVMH moved into luxury retail, foreshadowing a strategy of controlling distribution channels. By 1999, Arnault brought in British shirt maker Thomas Pink, and in 2000, Italian fashion label Emilio Pucci. In 2001, LVMH made headlines by acquiring a stake in Fendi, the Roman fur and fashion house, eventually taking control alongside the Fendi family. That same year, LVMH also bought luxury brands DKNY, Donna Karan, New York, and La Samaritaine, an iconic Paris department store. Arnault's buying binge extended beyond fashion. He set about building LVMH's wine and spirits division into an unrivaled stable of fine liquor maisons. Some were inherited from the original merger, Moët and Chandon Champagne, Hennessy Cognac, but Arnault added Krug and Veuve Clicquot Champagne, and even took personal stakes in elite vineyards. In 1998, Arnault teamed with Belgian investor Albert Frère to buy Château Cheval Blanc, a Bordeaux vineyard famed for its premier Grand Cru wine. LVMH already owned Château d'Yquem, producer of France's most celebrated sweet wine, and later folded Cheval Blanc into the group, further cementing its dominance in rare wines. Not every attempt succeeded. Arnault's most famous near-miss was his clash with rival luxury magnate François Pinault over the Italian fashion house Gucci. In the late 1990s, Arnault quietly amassed a stake in Gucci, surprising its management with a 34% holding and scaring them with what Gucci's CEO Domenico De Sole called a creeping takeover. Gucci's team fought back fiercely, using an unconventional tactic of issuing new shares to dilute Arnault's holdings. After a high-profile legal and boardroom battle, Arnault relented in 2001, selling LVMH's Gucci stake to Pinault's group, now carrying for a $700 million profit. Arnault had been thwarted in owning Gucci, but the episode only burnished his reputation as the great predator of luxury, a man unafraid to pounce on targets and just as quick to withdraw when the terms no longer suited him. By the early 2000s, Bernard Arnault had coalesced a luxury empire unmatched in scope. In just over a decade as CEO, he had multiplied LVMH's annual sales fivefold and its market value 15-fold. What had started with Dior and Louis Vuitton grew into a group touching every facet of high-end living: fashion, leather goods, perfumes, cosmetics, wines and spirits, watches and jewelry, and upscale retail. LVMH was now mentioned alongside Switzerland's Richemont and France's Kering as the triumvirate of global luxury. But LVMH would soon pull ahead of all peers, thanks to Arnault's continued expansion and the booming appetite for luxury in the 21st century. Bernard Arnault didn't just build a company, he crafted a global empire that sells not products, but desire itself. From red carpets to private islands, from legacy brands to billion-dollar takeovers, this is more than luxury, it's legacy. If this story inspired you, intrigued you, or simply opened your eyes, don't stop here. Hit subscribe, like, and turn on the bell, because we're just getting started uncovering the minds, money, and power behind the world's elite. This is luxury at the highest level.